Hey folks, good morning. It's Father's Day, so I'm going to be a little bit quiet today because everybody's still sleeping. It is 7:30 in the morning. My dog's got me up at 6:15, which I was really hoping to sleep just a little bit more than that. Anyway, so it's 7:30 in the morning. But I spent some time with the in-laws yesterday, and they gave me a good tip. They wanted to kind of see what I ate throughout the day, so I thought I won't actually show myself eating because like chomping in the camera and stuff is really weird to me. Some people do it. It's different. But I'll show you what I do, kind of my daily routine today. So this morning I got up and I felt pretty good. I want it to be a little bit more scientific than that. So I'm working on trying to measure like kind of my recovery day to day with what's called heart rate variability, HRV. But my equipment will come in. It's like a chest strap and an app, like equipment. It sounds like I'm going into a pod or something, but I want to be able to track that a little better, just based on feeling and maybe some kind of scientific metric or data point. But it's not here yet. But I felt pretty good, so I went on my typical walk. And so when I walk, I do kind of an alternating 2-mile, 1-mile route. Okay. So this morning was a 2-mile route because yesterday I didn't really get very many steps in. I think I got like 5,000 steps in, but it was also leg training day, and leg training day is very taxing for me. I do push it pretty hard just because I feel like if you watch my first episode, I talked a little bit about atrophy and the atrophy that I had in my legs when I bailed out that bleacher. So mentally, I just go a little tougher or a little stronger on or more intense on leg day. But anyway, I walked 2 miles this morning. I walk at about 2.8, 3 mile an hour or so. If I look at it, I got about 4,700 steps, 2 miles, walking at about 2.8 miles an hour. My heart rate, I'm noticing my body's getting more conditioned into walking that far. At the beginning, like it wouldn't be anything for me to get my heart rate around 110, 115 or so. I typically don't push it any more than that. I don't want it to impact my weightlifting training. And the more intense cardio you do, like I feel like that's the less resources my body has to dedicate towards muscle rebuilding, right? From my strength training. So I don't do very intense training walking, but this morning I noticed like I was a mile into it, my heart rate was still around like 105 or 102. So I'm probably gonna have to do what my buddy Brian tells me to do. I'll probably have to stack some weight on or something. So I might do that with like a vest or a backpack, carry a backpack, maybe some leg weights or something. I don't know, something just to add a little bit of intensity to it. But anyway, I like walking in the morning because number one, it's Texas, it's cool in the morning. But number two, I feel like it gets a jump on my steps every day. Because now I've got 5,000 steps and it's like 7:30. So for a person that works at a computer, that might be optimal for you because that way you can take some breaks throughout the day, maybe get 500 steps here and there and hit 10,000 steps. Why 10,000 steps? That's kind of everybody throws that number around. I think it's just a good goal. Like, just setting a goal I think is important. But anyway, I've rambled now for 4 minutes on my morning walk. So I'm pretty sweaty. So I do sweat a lot. I am a sweater. Although I don't wear sweaters, I am a sweater. I've never tested my salt output. That's something that I need to do. Like you can get these little patches on Amazon, I think, and I'm going to mess around with that. But usually if I sweat a lot, and I imagine that's going to continue through the summer, I try to get some electrolytes back in. I do drink a lot of water during the day. I drink probably about 3 to 4 liters. I need to get that to like 5 or 6 liters a day. But I don't just drink water because you need to replenish the salt you lost, right? So I do drink these things called Liquid IV, not endorsed by them or sponsored by them in any case. But I was drinking those Nuun, N-U-U-N hydration tablets, and I usually had to add something to it, like a Crystal Light drink mix or something, because they taste really bad. So maybe you don't feel like that way, but it was pretty terrible. But the good news about those Nuun tablets, they were only like 10 calories. These are like 45 calories because they have a little bit of sugar, they have some salt, they've got vitamin C, niacin, vitamin B, I can't read what those say, I think 612, and then pantothenic acid. So it's basically, I'm just trying to put some salt back in my body first thing in the morning because, we slept all night. So we're getting dehydrated at night, and then I do my cardio first thing in the morning. So I drink a little bit of water just so I don't like die out there. But I don't drink a ton of water, so it's not sloshing around. But anyway, so I'll just kind of mix this up. In case you're wondering what kind of shaker this is a Helimix Shaker. I'll link to it. I don't get sponsored by them or anything either, but I have two of them. Usually I use this one for like pre-workout and non-protein drinks, so like electrolyte formulas and things like that. And then I'll use another one for protein powder mixes. So I'll just kind of shake this up, and I'll just kind of drink this throughout breakfast. I don't slam it or anything like that. I just want to kind of front load it a little bit. I'm probably going to cut that because you can hear me swallowing. It's kind of weird. Okay, what do I make in the morning? I mentioned at the beginning that I'm kind of a picky eater. I'm also a very boring eater. So I typically eat the same types of things every day. And honestly, I feel like that kind of helps me from a diet perspective because there's not very much variance with that. So the calories are basically, repeatable. And so I can pretty much guess, and I've done this for so long now that I can nail my calorie number and my macro numbers by eating these things. So I start out with basically some rolled oats. It can be of any kind, just watch your sugar and things like that. But this is really good for, this gives me 34, actually, the serving size is 52 grams. It's kind of interesting. I didn't think it was, I thought it was 34 before. Okay, weird. Well, I eat 34, or I eat about 35 grams of this. So it's not quite a full serving size, but it's good because it gives me some like carbohydrates to bootstrap me. It also gives me about 4 or 5 grams of dietary fiber, which I think is important too. And some a little bit of vitamin stuff, but not much. But anyway, I cook that up as the base. I used to use water, but I've been trying to add a little bit more vitamin D and calcium. So I add this unsweetened almond breeze. For 240 milliliters, it's only 30 calories. And 2.5 grams of fat. So I am watching my fat. I try to keep that around 50 or 60 grams, but that's macro tracking, which we'll talk a little bit about in the future. But I usually mix those together, and then I add a little bit of cinnamon in there to just kind of help with flavor. And then I usually add in a scoop of whey protein. And you don't have to do that, but I find that the oats are kind of watery without it. So I add the whey protein because, again, I have a macro target of protein of 200 grams per day, which is a lot. And so bootstrapping with like 50 to 55 grams of protein first thing in the morning just helps me hit that number throughout the day. So that's kind of the one part of my breakfast. The other part of my breakfast that I do eat 2 whole eggs every day. And I know a lot of people freak out about the cholesterol and stuff, but I've seen my cholesterol going down just by losing weight. So to me, I want the omega-3s in this. I also want the protein from the eggs. So I eat 2, but usually that's not enough to kind of fill me. One little tick I have that I don't think I mentioned before is that I have the inability to feel full. I can eat pretty much until I'm sick. There's a hormone that triggers when you get full. I don't remember the name of it, but the one that's for hungry is ghrelin. I don't remember what the one is for full, but I'm rambling again. But I don't feel so. 2 eggs is really not enough for me. So I supplement that with like some egg whites, and I use egg beaters. Again, not sponsored or anything by any of these people, but and I usually eat. I won't eat 3/4 cups. Usually I'll eat I'll eat 2 servings of this. So that's 50 calories, and that's 10 grams of protein and 0 fat. If I were to eat like 6 whole eggs or something like that, that would be an enormous amount of fat. So I eat 2 eggs and then I add the egg whites to just kind of full up the meal a little bit, give me a little bit more proteins minus the fat and cholesterol. So I just try to balance it out, you know. But we'll see long term, like if eating 2 eggs is bad every day. Guess we'll find out. But just to let you know, like in an egg, that's probably really loud, sorry. Each egg has 70 calories, 4.5 grams of fat. It has 7 grams of protein and 190 milligrams of cholesterol. So there is a bit of cholesterol in there, but I really don't eat a ton of cholesterol throughout the day. So I think it's fine, but like I said, we'll see. You know, like I'm kind of my own human guinea pig. But I won't show you how I cook this. It's probably pretty hard to run the camera and cook all this stuff and not have a fire. So I won't show you how to cook it. When I'm cooking my eggs and I'm cooking the oats and the oats, I'm very careful not to add a lot of extras. Okay, so in the olden times, back when I was bigger, I would, I'd put in a slab of butter in there and I'd kind of use that as the template, or as the oil in the to cook the eggs. I would maybe even add some milk into my eggs and stuff. Don't really need to do that because I'm adding the egg beaters. But to lubricate the pan, I use this avocado oil spray. I've seen a lot of people use it because it has a high, I think they say it has a high heat point, high heat flash point, so it doesn't smoke as much. I don't know, but I just use it. Just be careful with the oils you use. Like I said, like that's a lot of fat, so you have to kind of watch that. You have to count it too in your calories. So I usually just use like 2 little quick sprays, and they trick you, like they say like 0 calories, but if you look at the bottle, like it's 1,500 servings. So it's not really 0 calories, it's got some calories in it. So just kind of, spray the pan, a little bit quick spray with the avocado spray, or you can use like olive oil spray if you want to, just don't like pour it in there, right? Because that you need to, if you do, you need to count it too. So anyway, just a quick tip about adding things. Like people I've seen like to add ketchup into their eggs. I'm a purist, so I eat I'm an egg purist. I don't know what that is, but I just eat my eggs plain. But if you do add ketchup, count that, measure out the ketchup in a tablespoon or something and add it, because ketchup has a lot of sugar in it. So it has calories in it. You can get sugar-free ketchup. However, I don't imagine that tastes very good, but you can do it. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that can kind of nail you on a diet, right? Is these little things you add, like barbecue sauce, like mayonnaise, like Cool Whip, or I don't know, Cool Whip might be okay. I don't know, I don't eat it. But ketchup, those things kind of add up on you. So you kind of have to be careful about what you add to your food. Just make sure you track it. All right, so there's my watery oats, but they won't be watery for long because I'm going to add 1 scoop of chocolate whey protein in them. So just dump that dude right in there like that. It's hard to do this with one hand. And then I also add I add a whole banana to mine, but you can add blueberries or anything, just as long as you track it. So notice I'm weighing this. It's 110 grams, 109 grams now. 109 grams. So yeah, so I'll cut that up, add that in there. But anyway, you can add fruit to it. Just count it, track it. And like I said, you might have to add like half a banana at first because your calories won't allow for it. Yeah, so there you go. Then Chewie's, of course, waiting for his. He already had a little bit of my eggs, so I let him, I give him a little bit of that. So this is breakfast. I try to hit, if your goal is like 1,600 calories a day, that based on the calculator you did, then, I believe in eating 4 or so large meals rather than trying to eat kind of throughout the day. And there's some science behind that. I was listening to a researcher who looked at muscle protein synthesis, and essentially for that to really become optimized, like eating over 40 grams of protein at a time is optimal. I'll cite the study down there, but I started doing this and I don't know that it's really changed anything, but it's just a little bit more convenient, so I'm not eating all day. So I eat like 4 to 5 big meals a day. So if you're at 14 or 1,500 calories, you want to probably try to aim for 300 to 400 calories per meal to hit your target. And so that's kind of a good way to gauge yourself as you go, because what you don't want to happen is you don't want to eat 1,000 calories before lunch, and then you're like, oh great, I have 500 calories to last me the rest of the day. That would be bad. So you may have to find that you have to cut back on some of these things, like cut back on the almond breeze or the almond milk and do water just to save a little there. You might need to eat, you know, triple the amount of egg whites and only one whole egg at the very beginning. But as you put on muscle and as you lose weight, your body will use more calories eventually. So or you'll hit your weight target and you'll just go to maintenance. So you'll be eating at maintenance, which is maybe 2,000 calories for you, and you can start adding some things in. But at the beginning, you know, I was at a pretty massive caloric deficit. Like I said, I think I was eating like 1,600 calories a day, and it was pretty tough. But by eating a lot of protein and eating those bigger meals throughout the day, I really wasn't hungry. Like, I'm more hungry now, I think, because I think it's just my body's reaction trying to get fat again. So anyway, I'm rambling. Anyway, I'll cook this up. I'll show the macros, and I'll see you guys in the next video. You're not supposed to be in the kitchen, dude. Right? No. Yeah. And then there's the smack talk. No. Oh. Oh, is that right? Oh. Well.